Hello students, today I am again here with you with the second and the third law of Mendel's law. As we had discussed in the earlier videos, we have discussed only the first law of Mendel, that was the law of dominance. And I hope that you all had learned it very carefully, and I hope that it was very helpful for you. Now today I will discuss you we will discuss or I will tell you about the second and the third law of Mendel, law of inheritance. Now come here, look here. Mendel's law of inheritance, the second law, monohybrid cross, law of segregation. Actually, this is in your book, this is not written as the second law. Actually, this is the monohybrid cross, the law of dominance and the law of segregation. But for our convenience, we make it in the different three parts. In the first law as the law of dominance, second as the law of segregation, and the third law as the law of independent assortment. That is the other end. But the first one is the monohybrid cross, and it combines with the law of dominance. Means in the book you will find only the law of dominance. Okay. But for our convenience, we read it in three parts. So the second part is the law of segregation. The law of segregation, what does it say? As we had learned in the first law of dominance, then what in that law, Mendel what had done? Mendel had done that he took the only one character of the plant, that is the tall plant or the dwarf plant. Means he had taken only the length of the plant, then crossed them, and in the F1 generation he found that only all the tall plants were there. No any dwarf plants found in the F1 generation. Okay, so he according to his observation, he concluded that in F1 generation the offsprings that are made, they found all the characters of the same as their parents. Means they got the characters of only of the one parent, not the both the parents. Okay, this was the law of the dominance. Now what happened? Then he thought, if I will cross these tall plants together, what I will find? Then what he did? He crossed these tall plants. These tall plants were together. Means he made it self-pollinated. Self-pollinated means self-crossed. Capital T and capital T, again the plant. Capital T and small t. This capital T and small t, capital T and small t. This is the genotypic ratio of the tall plant. Here the capital T and small t. What we have found here by this tall plant and the dwarf plant. Tall plant has the genes or alleles or the factors. It has the alleles capital T and capital T. It is responsible for the length, tallness of the plant. Okay. And here is the small t and small t. It is responsible for the dwarfness of the plant. Then when they crossed, he got the genotypic ratio capital T small t. Okay. So here is the gametes of these plants, capital T and small t. Capital T and small t. Then if it is crossed with each other, then what he found? This capital T crossed with this capital T, he found the capital T and capital T. Small t and small t, small t and capital T. Then he found the capital T and small t. Then small t and capital T, small t capital T, and small t small t, small t and small t. So capital T and capital T, capital T small t capital T. These all are the tall plants. Why these are the tall plants? Because here both the alleles, the capital T and capital T, this is responsible for the length or the tallness of the plant. Okay. So if only the small t is there, it is not. It disappears. It does not show this the character in it. That's why these all the plants are the tall plants. But here the dwarf plant. For the dwarf plant, only when both the small t and small t will be present, then this plant will be the dwarf plant. Only a single small t will not show its character, and it will not be responsible for the dwarfness. So for this dwarfness of the plant, both the alleles small t and small t are needed. So here I had written 3:1, means in the F1 generation all the tall plants are found, but in the F2 generation these plants get separated into the ratio of 3:1. Okay, this is the phenotypic ratio, means 3/4 of the plant will be the tall plant and 1/4 of the plant will be the dwarf plant. Okay, that's why here is the phenotypic ratio of the plants will be the 3:1. Here this thing I have shown here also with the help of the checkerboard, and this is very convenient for you to make the for the monohybrid cross or the dihybrid cross. We will discuss later. So how these gametes get pollinated, or they get conjugated with each other, and what the offsprings are found, we can make it properly with the help of this checkerboard. So here, look here, capital T, small t, capital T and small t, these both are the gametes. Here also these both are the gametes. Then when they cross, they are tall plant, tall plant, tall plant, and only one is the dwarf plant. Okay, so this is the monohybrid cross. Here the phenotypic ratio will be the 3:1. 3:1 means 3 tall plant and only one is the dwarf plant. And but the genotypic ratio means why the genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. Why 1:2:1? Because the tall plant, capital T and capital T, here both the alleles are the capital T and small t. Capital T and capital T. That's why this is the pure breed. Okay, that's why it is the genotypic ratio capital T and capital T. Here the again the capital T and small t and capital T means here these both plants are also tall plant, but they are having the genes or the allele or the factor small t also, that is coming from the second parent. Okay, that's why it is get separated, and that's it got the ratio 1:2:1. 1 is the total pure breed of the dwarf plant, means total pure breed of the tall plant, total pure breed of the dwarf plant, and here is the mixture of the plant, means there the genes or the alleles or the factors get mixed with each other and they form the mixture of the plants. Okay, and here the genotypic ratio will be the capital T small t and small t and capital T. So the ratio will be 1:2:1 and the phenotypic ratio will be the 3:1. So this is all about the Mendel's first law, the law of dominance and the law of segregation.